Several years ago I gave some lectures for some people in the organization, and they were wondering how they could start a change project or a change process in their organizations. And at that point in time I introduced a metaphor about red monkeys. And I said, if you want to change as an organization, you will have to like red monkeys. If you have a rainforest, which is a lot of biodiversity about animals and plants, people always wondered where the origin was of all the different species. And during several years, a lot of scientists thought it was in the middle of the forest. Now, latest view on this development, they say it isn't true. The new species in a forest, the rainforest, they come from the borders from the forest. There where the forest meets other ecosystems, for instance the forest and the desert, or the forest and the sea. Well, suppose you have a brown monkey who lives in the forest, meets a red fish out of the sea, and out of their conversations a new idea comes. That's what I call a red monkey. Is it possible to survive as an organization by just continuously improvement? And I think it isn't. Now, if you say it isn't possible anymore with continuous improvement, then you have to become innovative. But what's the definition of innovation? The definition of innovation is creative entrepreneurship. This has two words in it which are not daily used in organizations. Creativity, which means there is something we haven't heard before. That's the red monkey. Now, if this is the creativity, then you have to do something with this idea. That's entrepreneurship. So if innovation means creative entrepreneurship, then this means that we have to love red monkeys. If I'm talking about red monkeys as a confronting idea, which is really creativity, it starts at the edge of the forest. And the creators who live with one leg in the own organization and with one leg in the other organization, they find the best ideas. Now these creators, they have to find the people who love the ideas. And these are the pioneers. The pioneers and the creators are a success team. They all gain by making the idea better. So what happens is you really have organic growth of the idea. Now if you do this, then the idea becomes stronger. You even can introduce examples. Now you need these examples, you need these working examples, because maybe the creators and the pioneers are 10% of your organization. But you need to convince the majority of your organization, and the majority of your organization are the followers. There's nothing wrong with followers, you need followers. But followers need to see what it is, how it works, and how it's going to help them. If they don't see it, they don't follow. So it's the team of the creators and the pioneers who will make sure that it becomes so good that the followers will follow. And once you have the creators, the pioneers, the followers, then the last group, the settlers, who normally don't want to follow, they will be overwhelmed by this force, by this innovative force, because you have creativity and you have entrepreneurship, and they have to give in. So always, if you think in an organization about innovation, always start at the edge. Now suppose you don't do this, then you have a problem. Suppose you don't have creators, pioneers, followers, but you drop the red monkey in the middle of the forest. It will be killed. And normally it will be killed because it's still an idea, it hasn't proved itself, there are still errors in it, so it's a sitting duck. The red monkey is a sitting duck for the settlers, because they can say, who tell that it will work? It won't work. It will have two errors. We don't see the advantages. So they will win it. So the monkey will be killed. If new organizations start, they start about an idea. And the idea becomes successful. And then it becomes a team. And then the team becomes successful. And there are several teams. And then you've got an organization. The real problem with this building organization is that the creators normally go up in the hierarchy. So that at the end, your creators are up in the hierarchy and all the other people are really assistants. So what you have what I call the top-down innovation system. But today, this doesn't work anymore because there is so much information in the world that the top or the management isn't possible anymore to capture all the information and see what new ideas can come out of it. We have to go from organizations where innovation is top-down to organizations that have contact with all other kind of organizations, where we have more confronting ideas coming from the edge, which are red monkeys. And if we are able to build this kind of organizations, which mean completely different new people competences, management competences and processes, then we create organizations really built for innovation. People who have contacts with other organizations, they find other species and they talk together, and that's where the ideas come from. So what we see today is that the really innovative companies always are part of networks. When I'm talking about organizations have to be open to other parties to become innovative, what I see is that business units in an organization are even closed for other business units. So open innovation really starts at the crossing between business units. Even there, one business unit talks to another business unit and you got a red monkey. Every business unit sometimes is also a forest. I don't believe an organization can be innovative by having consensus. It's not possible. I say you have to leave the consensus model. You have to have one consensus, and this is the consensus of respect. If you know that in organizations you have people who love the new ideas and who hate the new ideas, these people have to respect each other. You don't need one red monkey. Maybe you need 20 or 100 at the same time. How do you do that? Organic growth. You have to have an organization which is built that new ideas are able to begin at the edge of the organization, where you have pioneers who are allowed to play with it, to make it better. And if it's good, it will survive. If it's not good, well, these people will say, it was a good idea, but it doesn't work. But you have to give it the chance. If this works, then you have to be able to convince more people. And that's organic growth. It always starts at the edge. If you have a red monkey, which is a good idea, you have to put your best people on this thing. What I see today is that if you start with change, what do people ask in organizations? Not, do you like the idea? No, people ask, do you have time to work on this idea? But do you have time is not the same question as, are you motivated in this red monkey to make it grow? Today we have to build organizations where red monkeys are coming from the edge, and you have to mobilize people who love the idea. And because they love it, they make a success out of it.